And first of all, maybe you can just talk a bit about the slight strengthening we saw for the Naira. We've seen the Naira a bit range bound over the last few sessions.
Yes, actually, well, yesterday at the market, we saw the Naira getting as low as 157.15, 1525, and closed at around 157.4050 levels. This has been the trend, like you said, but particularly yesterday because a lot of the offshore investors who had won at the FGM bond auction of the day before were now selling dollars to fund their winnings. So we saw much liquidity in the FX market, and this accounted largely for the downward trend we saw.
Let's talk a bit about that foreign investor activity and how it's impacting the Naira. Of course, we know that since the introduction of Nigeria to that JP Morgan index, we've seen massive inflows into Nigeria, but it seems to have slowed down a little bit. Can you just give us a sense of where we are right now in terms of flows into Nigeria from abroad?
Well, in terms of total flows, I think from August to date, we're probably around the 1.5 billion to 1.7 billion in US dollars that have come in. You would know that immediately the announcement was made, or what was classified as a rumor at first, a lot of offshore investors began to take positions. So we did see a lot of activity in August in the market. So people had already taken positions in those bonds. And when it was officially announced, then you saw more trades coming in. But definitely, yes, there has been a slight slowdown. But in terms of total volume, I would say that we are at around 1.5 to 1.7 billion in US dollars that have flowed into the economy on the back of the announcement by the JP Morgan that Nigeria has been included
that's
in
key
index.
announcement, clearly sparking the bond market. But what I've also noticed in the FX market, Yomi, is that we've seen somewhat weaker demand. And can you just speak to that? What exactly is going on there? I mean, clearly we know that importers are continuing to import. So why are we seeing less demand these days?
Okay, well, generally, from general comments, from observations, yes, if you look at the figures from CBN's WDAS, you would be inclined to say that, yes, there has been a substantial fall in demand, because if you look at, for October, for example, October 2011, as at this time, as at October 19th last year, the CBN had sold a total of 2.138 billion in the WDAS market. But as at today, as I speak, the total amount that has been sold in October is just about 716 million. That's a substantial drop, more or less like 60% drop. Even year to date, if you look at the figures, we are looking at something like 27 billion year to date October, as against 16 billion year to date October this year. So 27 billion for 2011 and 16 billion for 2012. So that would actually make you begin to say that yes, there is a weakening in demand, but we also have to put into perspective the fact that the CBN has excluded quite a lot of transactions from its windows,
right,
and has pushed it into the interbank market. So just focusing on the CBN WDAS statistics would not give you the full picture.
So
but I think generally, yes, there has been a slowdown in demand.
So I guess it's difficult to gauge the interbank demand-supply dynamics. But okay, let's talk a bit about the outlook for the Naira. Where do you see it headed? Like I mentioned, this week has been somewhat range-bound. Of course, oil prices continue to look good. We have reserves continue to rise, maybe modestly. But your thoughts on where the Naira is likely to go in the short term?
Short term, definitely it's going to be range-bound, like you said. And the bias is more towards an appreciation, because if we continue to see the kind of support we are getting from the offshore investors and also from oil companies auctioning US dollars, you'd realize that we're approaching the end of the year, and a lot of Naira obligations by the offshore companies to pay bonuses to staff and so on would mean that they would be auctioning more dollars into the market. So that kind of support is likely to lead to stability first, and maybe appreciation.
Okay, and then maybe you can pick up on, should I say, something that I thought was developing last year. We did hear the central bank speaking about introducing the renminbi as a currency. Can you just talk a bit about other currencies that are being traded into the bank market, or is it strictly a dollar-based market between the banks right now?
Yes, you know that the official currency pair that is traded in the market is the US dollar Nigerian naira. And so all other currencies are traded as third currencies. You have to do a cross between the dollar naira to the pound or to the euro. It's a bit difficult to gauge the kind of transactions that would, or the volumes that you would have there, because it's strictly an interbank market affair.